The Kansas City Chiefs Report is presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use our promo code CHIEFS. It's going to get you 20% off plus free shipping at checkout. That link will be in the comments. It'll be in the description. Manscaped.com, promo code CHIEFS at checkout. Let's talk free agency here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. How about signing David DeCastro before training camp? Well, the Steelers released the veteran offensive guard just last week, two-time All-Pro, six-time Pro Bowler at that guard position. Now, there's a lot of chatter going on with DeCastro. One, he could retire. Two, he may not be fully healthy. Three, how motivated is he to play at this point in his career? Because last year was a little bit banged up, was a little up and down for Pittsburgh, was still a really good pass blocker according to Pro Football Focus's grades. Not very good as a run blocker. Obviously, the Chiefs throw more than they run, but they do like to stay balanced as much as they can. And let's be honest, with DeCastro, while he's only 31, you would say, okay, he's probably got a lot left in the tank. This is already an offensive line in Kansas City that has been pretty darn revamped by Chiefs general manager Brett Veach. Now, some of you might say, well, maybe DeCastro's the final piece. You start him at right guard. LDT, Kyle Long, Trey Smith aren't exactly, top-tier guys. Sure, but just know that DeCastro is going to cost at least a little bit of money. Should the Chiefs sign David DeCastro in free agency? What do you guys think? Type S for sign, type P for pass. Get your votes in on this one. If you're asking me, I'm probably going to lean toward pass here. Look, what else does Brett Veach have to do with this O-line? If you can't go to battle with what you got and play at a high level, hey, then something's gone drastically wrong. Left tackle, you're set. Orlando Brown Jr., Joe Thuney, top guard in the open market, gave him $80 million. Whether it's Austin Blythe or Creed Humphrey, you're good to go at center. You have LDT, Kyle Long, Trey Smith in the mix at right guard as well. Remmers and Niang at right tackle. You don't need David DeCastro. You already paid Joe Thuney the bag. You already traded for a guy like Orlando Brown. LDT, Kyle Long, Trey Smith, one of these guys will emerge at right guard for Kansas City. Now, again, like anyone else, if DeCastro is cheap and if he wants to chase a Super Bowl for $2 million, sure, I guess that's fine, but I'm not going to give him $5 million. I'd rather work on an extension for Tyrann Mathieu than to do something like that. So we'll see what happens with David DeCastro over the next few weeks. Does he retire? Does he sign with the team? Does he want to play for a contender like Kansas City? I'm simply saying, unless he's dirt cheap, I'm just not that interested because this offensive line is already in really, really good shape. Speaking of which, how confident are you in the Chiefs' offensive line heading into this season? And compare it to last year if you want. Scale of 1 to 10. Super Bowl last year, I was at about a 2. This year I'm at like an 8. I feel a lot better. I think you've upgraded at left tackle and left guard. I think center will be better as well. Really, to me, it just comes down to, does Lucas Niang or Mike Remmers, does one of those guys emerge at right tackle? I'm going to give this one an 8. I'm feeling pretty good. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Now, I'm feeling great. I'd give it a 10 out of 10 if we were talking about Manscaped because the Lawnmower 4.0 has changed my life. Guys, this product is fantastic for your balls downstairs. Guys, if you're going to shave your beard, you'll want to shave your balls too because I've been working out recently and it gets a little bit gnarly down there. The BO kind of gets out there, so you get the Lawnmower 4.0. You can also get their ball toner and deodorant as well with Manscaped. Clean things up for your significant other. My wife is a big fan of the Lawnmower 4.0. It's got 4 adjustable guards. You can get it 20% off at manscaped.com and with our promo code Chiefs. Again, that link in the comments and the description. Promo code Chiefs just for Chiefs Kingdom. Normally this bad boy is $90. With that promo code, it's $71.99. Your balls will thank you if you go to Manscaped, manscaped.com, promo code Chiefs to get 20% off at checkout. Let's talk Andy Reid here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Is he the best coach in the NFL? Well, CBS Sports' Cody Benjamin ranked all 32 head coaches heading into the 2021 season. He actually ranked Andy Reid number 1 ahead of one Bill Belichick for the top spot on this list. Now, Andy Reid's been on a heck of a run with Kansas City, really from the beginning, but especially in the last couple of years. There's no doubt he has earned himself a bid into Canton in the Hall of Fame someday and has earned the right to be one of the top coaches in the NFL today. Here's the top 5 according to Benjamin of CBS Sports. Reid number 1, Bill Belichick number 2, John Harbaugh number 3, Sean Payton 4, and then Sean McDermott cracking the top 5 with the Buffalo Bills. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that Andy Reid and Bill Belichick in some order are the top 2. Now, obviously, Bill Belichick has the bigger resume. He's had the better career. He's got 7 Super Bowls. Like, no one's disputing the better career, but I actually think there is a decent argument that today in right now's NFL, you could argue that Andy Reid is a coach that more teams would rather have. I think he completely hit the reset button offensively when he joined Kansas City. He kind of revamped his career with the Chiefs, whereas not that Bill Belichick isn't good, but what's his one season without Tom Brady been? Not that great. You look at Andy Reid, it's been consistent with Kansas City, struggled to break through with deep playoff runs early on in his tenure, but look at what happened once he got Patrick Mahomes in 2018. Conference championship game, would have won had D Ford not lined up offsides. Super Bowl the season after that, obviously winning Super Bowl 54. Lost the Super Bowl last year, probably win it if the offensive line hadn't completely fallen apart and Patrick Mahomes didn't have turf toe. But either way, you're talking about a team that probably should have gone to 3 straight Super Bowls, probably should have won 2 of them. I think they would have won in 2018 had D Ford not lined up offsides. The last 3 years have been incredibly impressive for Andy Reid, and I think today, ask yourself this, if you're a Chiefs fan, would you rather have Reid or Belichick as this team's head coach? I think for this team, I would take Andy Reid, so it's at least a compelling argument. Now, again, better career, it's obviously Bill Belichick. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But right now, right here, 2021, I think Andy Reid has as strong of an argument as anyone in the NFL, which is why Cody Benjamin also put Sean McDermott in the top 5. He doesn't have a resume of a top 5 coach in the league, but right now, what he's done with Buffalo the past couple of years, yeah, I think that's a worthy admission into the top 5, which is why I don't think it's outrageous to have Andy Reid number 1 on this list ahead of Bill Belichick. I think this is a big year for Belichick to prove that he is still that top guy. If the Patriots don't at least make the playoffs, I think Andy Reid being number 1 is certainly more than worthy. What do you guys think? Is Andy Reid the best coach in the NFL? Type Y for yes, type N for no. We're talking right now, not all time, currently in 2021. Y for yes, N for no. Is Andy Reid the best coach in the National Football League? Get subscribed to the Kansas City Chiefs Report because we're going to continue to bring you the latest Chiefs news, rumors, interesting topics that are out there on the internet. We will break them down for you guys. And hey, training camp's around the corner, preseason right after that, and then before you know it, it'll be week 1 of the 2021 NFL season. We'll cover it all here on this channel. Hit that big red button, share that link below with a friend. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Pro Football Focus released their top player rankings for the upcoming season, and we're going to talk about it here on the Chiefs Report. Sam Monson released his rankings, and quite a few Chiefs made the list. Now, the one that caught everybody's eye here was Patrick Mahomes being behind Aaron Donald at number 2. And look, this is an argument, this is a debate that's really gone on for a few years now. It's the classic, is Aaron Donald a better pure football player than Patrick Mahomes? Perhaps, but I think 32 of 32 teams would draft Patrick Mahomes over Aaron Donald. But if you're just talking about a pure football player, I'm not going to gripe and moan and cry that Aaron Donald is number 1 ahead of Patrick Mahomes. Now, if someone was like, hey, Madden-style fantasy draft, who you drafting, Mahomes or Donald? If you say Donald, you deserve to get your credentials removed, but that's not really what the conversation is. So if Mahomes came in at number 2 behind Aaron Donald, what are your thoughts? Who's the better player? Type M for Mahomes, type D for Donald. Obviously, I'm going to take Mahomes every day of the week if I'm starting a team. Better pure player, I honestly think you could go either way. M for Mahomes, D for Donald. Get your votes in on this one. Now, obviously, Mahomes wasn't the only player in the top 20. Travis Kelce at number 3, that caught people's attention. A tight end being the 3rd best player in the NFL. Well, currently, based on last year, I mean, we saw him he's always been a mismatch nightmare, but he was unstoppable last year with almost 1,500 yards on over 100 catches and 11 touchdowns. Like, Travis Kelce is unguardable. Like, you put him in the slot and linebackers or safeties have to guard him. Like, what are you going to do? He's 100 yards a week. He's that dominant. So I think him in the top 5 is not something to be scoffed at whatsoever. Quentin Nelson, best guard in the league. He's worthy. Davante Adams has really emerged as a wide receiver as well. I still love Tyreek Hill, who we'll get to in just a little bit. 6 through 10, we'll kind of sprint through these. Khalil Mack, Tom Brady, Bobby Wagner, George Kittle, and Aaron Rodgers in your top 10 there. 11 through 15, no Chiefs in this chunk either. TJ Watt, Derrick Henry, Zach Martin, Jair Alexander, and David Bakhtiari. But then you see a couple more Kansas City Chiefs players. Tyreek Hill at number 18. Chris Jones at number 19. No Tyrann Mathieu in the top 20. I think he's certainly worthy of consideration there, but he did not make the list. Now, Tyreek Hill, I would have had in the top 15. I think he's a better pure player than Jalen Ramsey. And for Davante Adams to be at 5 and Hill all the way at 18, I just don't see there's that big of a gap there. In 13 games last year, these are the numbers he put up. He was absolutely phenomenal. 15 touchdowns in 13 games. Tyreek Hill is just unguardable with how fast he is and how electric of a player he is with the ball in his hands. Now, I love Chris Jones, but top 20 player in the NFL, that feels a little rich to me. That's not a slight to Stone Cold Jones because he's a game wrecker and the stats don't always tell the story. He just flat out gets after the quarterback, which you see there with the 28 quarterback hits. Obviously, you want the sacks to be higher, but he is still a mismatch nightmare defensively. But if I was ranking it, I would have had Hill higher, a.k.a. top 15, maybe even top 10, and I would have had Jones lower, more like 25 to 30 range. For example, I think you could argue Tyrann Mathieu is more impactful than Chris Jones. Now, it's really what your flavor is. Do you value a guy who can, line up all over the field, can be more of a ball hawk, or do you value a guy that can play defensive tackle or defensive end and get after the quarterback? Really just depends on what your flavor is. But in my opinion, I would have had those guys higher. PFF ranked the top 50, but we focus on the top 20 here on today's video for you guys. So that's the Chiefs that made the list. Mahomes at number 2 behind Aaron Donald. Obviously, the biggest storyline there, but which Chiefs players should have made this list? Who should have cracked PFF's player rankings? Let us know what you guys think in the comments. By the way, Tyrann Mathieu wasn't top 50. That's pretty shameful if you're asking me. He should have at least been top 50. So he's the obvious answer for me. Maybe you think a guy like L'Jarius Sneed. I don't think he's quite ready to be top 50 there. Get your votes in. We'll see you next time here on the Chiefs Report.